Welcome. In the last session, we have learned how to find the length of the string. Before starting today's session, we will see what are data types. Any variable, the value you are giving, different kind of values that you are giving to the variable, there are different terms in Python. Those are called data types. So if you look at age, here we have given age as 28. This will be considered as integer. For height, you have given 5.6, which is in decimal form. This will be considered as float. And here you have given, did you apply before, which is in the form of true or false, which will be considered as Boolean data type. And for sports, you have given basket, which will be considered as string. Okay. So for today's session, we will talk about taking input from the user. What is input? Yesterday, we have learned how to get the length of a string. Today, I would like to give my input to the code so that whatever the input that I am giving, it should generate the length of that particular value. So let's say I'm giving user equal to, I'm not defining the value here, but I will give it as input, which means Python will ask me what is the value that I'm going to give to this particular variable user. So next, I will write length is equal to len of user and then print user. So when I click enter, Python will ask me what value I want to give. I will say, hi Python, how are you doing? When I enter, sorry, here I have given user, but thing is I have to give length. Now it will generate me the value of hi Python, how are you doing, and enter. This is the number of characters that are present in this particular string. Now let's see another example. I would like to give user as input and age as again input. And now I would like to print user plus, here I am concatenating, okay, plus double quotes space is space plus age plus double quotes space years old. Here what I am doing, I am printing the user, the input what I give, plus space is plus age, the input that I'm going to give, and plus space years old. Now when I enter, first it will ask me the user input, that is Python, and I will enter again. It will ask me the input for the age. So I will give 28 and enter. Now it will give me the final output as user Python is 28 years old. Next, we will look into the concept called indexing. Indexing is nothing but, see, let's say I have a value called Ravi. So for this value, we'll have index numbers that will start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So here, when I say 1, it will bring me the value of this particular index, that is A. So let's look at it with a code. Let's say I will give my user as Ravi, and then I would like to in the index of user with square bracket. We have to define the index with square bracket, which is user square bracket. In this, you can give the value 2 and print index. Now when I enter, it will give me the value v. Why? Because the index value starts from 0. That is, for R0, A1, V is 2. So I have given 2, it has generated me the value v. That is indexing. So in order to understand indexing in depth, we will use the same code, RVI. Now I would like to print the index of print user 1, print user 2, print user 3. What happens is, here Python will first print the index value of 0, then it will print index value of 1, then 2, then 3. C, R, A, V, I. Now I will shuffle these values. I will give 3 here, and I will give 2 here. I will give 0 here, and I will give 1 here. Now when I enter, see, it will generate me the code in sequence order. That is, the value of second index is V, the value of 0, that is R, the value of index 3 is I, and the value of index 1 is A. Now let's look at the concept called string slicing. String slicing is nothing but, now let's say I have a value called hi Python, but I only want to generate this particular part. I only want to print this particular part. So for that, we will use the code and we will use the concept of string slicing. That is, message is equal to hi Python. Now for part, we will slice it using square brackets. We will define the variable name and then square brackets, and we will look at from which index we want to print. That is 0, 1. The space is also considered as character. So 0, 1, 2. From 3 onwards, I want the value to be printed. So I will give 3 first, and then I will give colon, and then I will check the value. Index value is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whenever you are giving index values, the index will print till the previous number of the value that we are giving. So if I give 8, it will print till 7, that is till O. So in order to print till 8, I have to give 9. Now I will print part. Now it has printed Python. See, this is the start index. This is the end index. So 3 is the starting index and 9 is the ending index. If I want to print the value and I want to give only starting index and I want to print till the end, it's fine if I'm not giving this value also. So if I print, it will print till the end, which means I gave the value of starting index and it should print till the end. So it has printed Python till the end. Now let's say I want to print only hi, hi. For that, let's consider the same code. So for that, what we will do, it's fine if I'm not giving the starting index because I want it from the starting index, but I want it to end somewhere in between. So I will check the value of index, that is 0, 1, 2. So till 2, if I give, it will print till 1. So I will give the value 2. See, 0, 1. If I'm giving only 1, it will only print h because the index value will always print till the previous value. It will not print the value that we are giving it to end. So I will give 0, 1, 2. That is, when I give till space, it will print till I. So enter. It has generated me hi. This is how string indexing and string slicing works. In order to remember both the concepts, you have to remember for string indexing, you will use only one value. And for string slicing, you will give two values. The starting value separated with colon and the end value. So in indexing, we can print particular string from the value, and in string slicing, we will be able to print a particular part of that value by giving starting and ending values of the index. We will look at another concept called type conversions. Type conversions is nothing but, let's understand type conversions with a simple code. That is, I'm defining A is equal to input, I'm defining B is equal to input, and now I want to add the values of A and B. So I will give sum is equal to A plus B and print me the result of this sum. So when I execute this code, it is not going to print the sum of this value. Let's say I'm giving 20 and then I'm giving 30. Rather than printing, it will print both side by side. And why? Because input is always considered as string. So when I am doing A plus B, this string 20 is getting concatenated with the string of 30. So that is the reason when I gave 20 and 30, it got concatenated and then generated the value 2030. Understood? Now, if I want to get the value of the sum of A plus B, what I should do is A is equal to input. Now I have defined A as the user input, and now I want to define this particular input as integer. So for that, what I'll do is I'll add int of A. That means this particular input that the user is giving will be converted into integer. Okay. Next, I will give B is equal to input of, and B is equal to int of B, which means here the input of B is also converted into integer. Now I will give sum is equal to A plus B. Now I want to print the sum. Now when I generate this code, I will give 20 and 30. It is giving me the output 50. This is called type conversion. Every input that the user gives is considered as string. Unless and until you want to go with it as string, it's fine. But if you want this particular value that you're giving as number, then if you want to convert it, you can use this type conversion int. There is a way to find out the data type of the particular value. Let's say I want to find out the value of A is equal to 10 and print A is equal to type of A. What I'm saying here is I have defined the value of A as 10 and I have generated the data type of A by using this type of, and I'm printing the value of A, that is type of A. When I enter, it will give me the data type of this particular value, that is integer. You can directly do that by using print of type of 4.2. Now when I do this is a decimal. That means in Python term, it is a float. Now when I generate, it says class is float. I would also like to know the data type of true. When I give true here, it is either true or false. This particular data type is called Boolean. See here, it says bool. But when I'm defining a particular value in double quotes as hello 100, this is string. You can use type conversion when you are using the concept of input. Say A is equal to input of print type A. So whatever the input that I'm giving, it is always string, because as I said, input value is always considered as string. Even if I run this code, even if I give hello, it is a string. And even if I give the value 10, it is also string. Always the input value is considered as string. Let's say another example, A is equal to 5, A is equal to int of A. What I'm doing here, I have defined the value of A as string, and then I have type conversion it into integer. Now print type of A. This is integer because it has converted into integer. Let's say I will give below this variable, I will give print A or type of A. What I'm doing here is I am checking what is the type of this particular value. After converting this string into integer, I am again printing the type of this value. Let's see. The first one is string because I have defined it in the form of string by using double quotes. And the second print type is integer because I have converted it into integer. Let's try to add two numbers using this type conversion. Let's say A is equal to input and A is equal to int of A. B is equal to input, B is equal to int of B. Sum is equal to A plus B and print sum. As I mentioned, now when I give the values, it is going to throw me sum of these two values. But here I'm going to give the string sum is equal to concatenate the value sum. Now it will throw me error because see here what happened is I am concatenating this string sum is equal to a value that is integer, because we have converted these two values into integer and these integer values are added and the sum is generated. So that sum is also integer. We are trying string concatenation on this particular string and integer. So in order to generate the value, I will convert this integer into string using str of sum. Now when I do enter 20 plus 30, it is giving me sum is equal to 50. That is, I have converted the value of sum into string. Now both are strings. Here sum is equal to is a string and this value is also string. So both are concatenated and I got the output as sum is equal to 50. This is how type conversions work. Now we will look into operators. Operators in Python are nothing but there are two type of operators. One is relational operator and other is logical operator. Relational operators are less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. These are relational operators, and logical operators are and, or, not. These are logical operators. Let's look into relational operators. In relational operators, we will try to write a code which is 5 greater than 10, which is not true. For operators, the output will be in the form of true or false. When I run this code, it is going to say false. We have given 5 is greater than 10. When I say print 5 is less than 7, this is true. When I say print 2 is less than or equal to 2, it is true. Here you have to understand another thing, that is print 2 is equal to that is 2 is equal to 2. When we are defining a value to a variable, we will be using equal to. But here it is not the case. We will use two equal to's in order to do relational operations. So when I enter, it says true. But if I give single equal to, it is going to throw error saying syntax error, expression cannot contain assignment. You have to give two equal to's here. That is true. There is another mistake that we might be doing, that is 2 space greater than or equal to space 1. This is one of the rule in Python that if we are doing greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or equal to and not equal to, we will be using both combined. You don't give spaces in between. Not equal to, enter true. Now let's compare floats. Floats is nothing but decimals. So print 2.5 is less than or equal to 3.2 and enter. It is true. And print 0.1 is not equal to 0.1. Now when I run this code, this is false. Now let's compare strings. In Python, whenever we give strings, Python is case sensitive. Python is actually case sensitive. That means in Python, x and x are not same. Both are different. That is what is called case sensitive. In order to understand case sensitive, print string ABC equal to ABC. Now I run this code. That is true. Now when I run print ABC equal to AB, this is not true. So that is false. Let's say I want to find the first three letters of a word are matching or not. In order to do that, let's also take the example words. That is, one is apple and another is application. The first three letters of this word are both same. So I want to check if the first three letters of a word are matching or not, and I want to generate the output whether it is true or false. So for that, I will write a code. First input, that is first word, and second input, that is the second word. Now first part, that is the starting three letters. So in order to get the starting three letters, we will use the concept of string slicing. String slicing for first word is first of square brackets 0 to colon. When I say three letters, that is 0, 1, 2. But I have to take till 3 to generate the value of second index also. So 0, 1, 2, 3. I will give 3. And second part is equal to second of square brackets 0 to 3. Same. Now result must be that the first part is equal to second part. Now I want to print the result. Let's give the first word as apple and the second word as application. The error is in the fourth line. That is, okay, here we have given two C's. We'll clear this and we will enter. First word is apple and the second is application. That is true. Now again we will generate this code. We will give banana and ball. The first three letters are not same, so it will generate false. So this is how we can find the first three characters of two words, whether they are both same or not. Now let's get into logical operators. The logical operators also gives the value as true or false, and the logical operators are and, or, not. We will understand each with different codes. That is, when I say print true and true, that is, if I'm giving a value to be true and another value to be true, only then it will give the output as true. But if I give the another value as false, it will generate false. Here, if I give print true or false, it will generate me true, because either of the one is true, then it should be true. And if both are true, then also it is true, unless and until both the conditions are false, or only then it will throw the output as false. And not is a different logical operator. That is, it will give the opposite of the condition, that is not true. If I give not true, it will give me the output as false. If I give not false, it will give me the output as true. Let's understand this with certain values. Now let's say I want to print 1 is greater than 2 and 3 is less than 5. Here this condition is true, but this condition is false. So it will generate the value as false, because in AND condition, unless and until both the conditions are true, it is not true. So let's say I will give 1 is also less than 2. Now it is true. Let's say 1 is less than 2 or 3 is greater than 5. In OR condition, what happens is, if any one of the condition is true, it will give you the value as true. Here 1 is less than 2 is false, but 3 is greater than 5. It is true. So it will give you the value true. So here 1 is less than 2 is true, but 3 is greater than 5 is false. But since we have used OR here, either this or this must be true. Since 1 is less than is true, it will give you the value true. But if I give 1 is greater than 2 and 3 is greater than 5, both are false. In this condition, it will give you the value as false. And if I say not 6 equal to 6, 6 equal to 6 is true, but I am defining it with not. Equal, you have to give both. Okay. Here I'm giving 6 equal to 6. That is true. But since you have defined it with not, it will give you the value as false. Now if I say 5 is equal to 6, it will give me the value as true because 5 equal to 6 is false. Since you have given not false, it will give you true. Let's look at another question. Find if the given two numbers here we have three cases. We will look at the first case. Find if the given two numbers are positive numbers. I will give the first value as int of input. When I'm defining int of input, whatever the input value that I'm giving will be converted into integer, because since the input will consider the given value as string, now since I have defined it with int, it will consider the given value as integer only if the value is numeric. If you are giving string value into the input, then it will throw error. So for second value, we will be giving int of input is positive. So what is the case here? Find if the given two numbers are positive numbers. So if the first number is first, how do I give if it is positive or negative number? See, starting from 0 to the right side of 0, it is positive numbers, and to the left side of 0, it is negative numbers, as we know. Okay, so how we can define if the value is positive or negative? We will do first number is greater than 0. That means whatever the value that is greater than 0 is positive number, and whatever the value that is less than 0 is negative number. And second value is greater than 0. Now print is positive. When I print positive, the Python will ask me two inputs. One I will give 5 and the other I will give 9. Both are positive, so it is true. Now let's run this code again, and I will give -3 enter and 5 enter. It is false because both are not positive here. The next is find in the given two values at least one is greater than 5. In this case, we can use the operator or. We will use a logical operator or. Is greater is equal to first is greater than 5 or second is greater than 5. Now here I would like to print is greater than. So I will change this value to is greater. When I run this code, let's say I will give one of the value as 3 and the other value is 7. So here one value is greater than 5, so it will give you the output as true. Let's say I will give both the values below 5, that is 2 and 3. Now it is false because forget about this line, because this line is nowhere considered because we are not printing the line. It is not considered while running this code. Python might be running it in the background, but later it will come to this line and it will only give you the output of is greater because we are only considering is greater in this particular scenario. So when I run this code, it is giving false because neither the first number nor the second number is greater than 5. Both are less than 5, that is 2 and 3. So that is the reason it is throwing the output as false. Next, we will see if the given two values meet the above two conditions. That is, the values must be positive numbers and at least one must be greater than 5. In order to do that, we will give result equal to. They are asking us if the given two values are meeting the above two conditions. These two conditions we have already written here. So this and this conditions must be satisfied. So for that, we will give is positive and is greater. Is positive and is. When I give is positive and is greater, It is considering both the scenarios. So unless and until both the scenarios meet the condition, it will not generate the output as true. So I will give a result here. When I enter, I will give one of the value as 2, that is positive, and 7, that is positive and also greater than 5. Now both the values are positive. We have meet the first condition, and one of the value is greater than 5, that is we have met the second condition also. So it will give you the output as true. Let's say I am giving one of the value as -3 and other value as 7. The first condition is not met because here both are not positive. The second condition, yes, it has met, but since both conditions are not meeting, it will throw me the output as false. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session.